Hello everyone, thank you so much for being here and for clicking on the video. What I've got in front of me now is the Hobonichi Cousin, cut down in a standard size, and it's currently in my blue traveler's notebook. So this is a repurposed Hobonichi Cousin, meaning that this was actually my Hobonichi Cousin from last year that I didn't end up utilizing fully. So I've got a lot of blank pages and very good Tomoe River paper that hasn't been used, that I thought that instead of buying a new one I could just use it and trial to see if it actually, if what I needed to use it for works. So where do I start? So at the beginning of this year I was after a notebook that I could just scribble in and be free and just do all sorts of messy stuff in. And so I pulled out this Hobonichi Cousin because, you know, I do really like Tomoe River paper and it was already dated, so I thought maybe this would be a fun sort of way to to do all this sort of stuff in. And later on I realized that the A5 is a little bit cumbersome. It is not really a size that I gravitate towards, and so I decided, after seeing some inspiration on Instagram and YouTube from a couple of people who I have forgotten, I'm so sorry, that I would cut it down to standard size. And I've been really enjoying the standard size because of my standard TN. So I thought that on a whim I'd go ahead and get this professionally cut down, which only cost me $1 to do, which was so cool. So while I was using this, it's sort of, my use of the daily pages had ended up evolving. So I ended up using this to also do daily plans in now. And although I don't plan daily, I do really appreciate having dated pages because, for example, if today was the end of 8th of March and I want to plan tomorrow, I can just open up to tomorrow's date and plan out what I plan to do for the next day. And that's been working magnificently. However, there are some days where I don't do that, and then I'm left with blank dated pages. And then for people who are familiar with the Hobonichi Cousin in this community, you know that there's a lot of people who actually are not a big fan of these dated pages for those reasons. The fact that people feel pressured to use them every day, or they feel the feeling of being left behind by these pages and not knowing how, feeling the pressure to backfill or to backplan and all that kind of stuff. And I did somewhat feel that sort of pressure towards the end as well. However, I organically found a way to overcome that. So what I have been doing is, unfortunately, I can't show you my previous pages because they're quite private, but I would, you know, use the dates, or the daily page, to plan. And then if I had missing pages or blank pages, I would use those as a space to journal in when I need to journal in the future. So for example, let's go back to today's example. So say today is Wednesday, I have plans here and I have notes that are relative to that day, and you know, that's all cool. And then on the next day, maybe let's say this is completely blank, and then the next, on the Friday, is also completely blank. Let's say I've been really busy and I haven't really had the chance to be in here, nor did I need to use this. So I just left those two completely blank. And then on the Saturday, I don't really need to plan, but I feel like I have a lot of stuff on my mind and my thoughts are racing and I feel quite anxious and depressed. I'd go back to these available pages and just journal. I'll just stream of consciousness type of writing. I'll just write unfiltered, and that's how I've been using the blank unused pages, which has been really cool, because when you flip back, the pages have been either been filled with plans, notes, or journaling pages, or writings, I guess, and it's completely freeing. I don't feel the need to make this look perfect, or plan perfectly, or plan every day, because honestly, where I am in my life right now, I don't need to plan every day, although it could potentially be to my benefit if I did. But I don't. So I am left with a couple of blank pages, and what I do is I just let them be. If I have a blank page, I'll just let them be like that, and then I just write down my plans on the specific date that I need to write those on. And then if I feel the need to write down thoughts, I'd go back to the last available unused page and just write on those pages. And that's been working actually like surprisingly well. I love being on here. I love that it's Tomoe River paper. I love the freedom that it brings. It truly is very flexible yet structured, which I have been really enjoying. And in my weekly vertical, which is the reason I actually wanted to, one of the main reasons I wanted to pick up the Hobonichi Cousin again, in the weekly verticals, I use this as a way to plan my week ahead. I do like to leave it undated, so yeah, I usually leave it undated, and when I anticipate that I'll be having a busy week ahead, or I feel particularly anxious about the week ahead, come on here and just write down everything that's going to be coming up, and plan around it, and yeah, do some sort of fun stuff. And then sometimes I like to do a update on the week, or a weekly review down on the bottom, because I don't really use that much space down the bottom. But yeah, this has been really freeing as well. I just ignore the dates completely, and I just use these when I need to. Now for the monthly pages, I also redated them, and initially I was using to put my assessment due dates on there, but I do have my main everyday carry, which houses my DIY monthly insert. So this is how I like to plan on the go. It's how I like to plan, full stop, and put all appointments and meetings in. I prefer that on a monthly overview to have a better view of everything. And in this monthly insert, I also have lots of blank pages to do bullet journal style-esque pages. If I could show you, just something like that. And that's been really freeing. I think what I've learned about myself throughout the years as I've been part of this community, and having this hobby as my main hobby, I think I really appreciate just the my approach is sort of like, I only use these things when I need to use them. I don't, the more pressure I put on myself to be consistent, the less consistent I'll be. But the more that I just want to be free and want to be in here for fun and for its benefits, then I find myself being on here the most. And so that's my standard Hobonichi Cousin. Just as a quick recap, I don't know if I can quickly recap it, but when I need to use the dated pages, I usually put my plans and notes relative to that day. And if I don't end up using it, I end up using it as a place to write stream of consciousness writing if I need to in the future. I just use it as a blank page, really. And if by any chance I run out of blank pages, I do have this notebook that I also cut down, and I'll just typically rip it out and tip it in so that it kind of remains consistent. And now I don't really have an audience for this book, so it doesn't really matter to me if it's not what's the word, chronological. As long as I date my entries, my journaling entries, then that's all fine. The only person that will probably be reading this will be me. I don't intend to share any of those pages online or on Instagram, so this is completely just for me. And I do have my standard TN that I'm a little bit more creative in, and I like to put more thought and effort and yeah, just a lot more colors in, and I probably will share more of this on Instagram. This is a little bit more Instagrammable, if I say so myself, but it's very cool that even with this one, because it's blank pages, I can use it however I want to. So again, I'm very big on the flexibility and not being held down by dated pages when I don't need them to be dated. So I'm only in here when I want to be or if I need to be. The only other dated thing that I have here is this insert, but again, well, it's sort of undated as well. So there's still sort of structure yet flexibility that's on there. I will make another video on these two sometime in the future, but in today I just really wanted to share this one with you because it's been working super well, and I was just really grateful for it this morning to have such a system where I can just pull it out when I need to and write on it or plan on it when I need to, and I don't need to be perfect or anything like that, and I don't need to any other supplies, or it's just very bare bone, and it is an absolute game changer. And if you have been struggling to use your Hobonichi Cousin, I perhaps could encourage you to try to do it in this way, where you plan on the dates, and then if there's an empty page, you just journal or be creative or do whatever you want with it, and don't feel the pressure to journal daily or plan daily just because the dates are there. I definitely encourage you to be the master of these pages and don't feel obliged to use them when you don't want to. But anyway, that's it from me today. I hope that has been really helpful, or at least been entertaining somewhat. And I will see you in the next video. Until then, do take care. Bye!